What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 104 of my Total Warhammer 3 Boris Ursus and Zanoviev campaign. So as we saw last time, Boris faced off against Kairos himself, or themselves, wherein, well, Boris absolutely destroyed him in relatively single combat. And I say relatively because Kairos had help, and Boris not so much, and still Big Bird had no chance. Anyway, after bagging himself the Big Bird, we saw that Koeus had jumped over to this location near Mr. Gorge, which is a little bit annoying. We need to get rid of Koeus because he's going to just annoy several locations until we do. I'm hoping, really hoping that he decides to attack Mist Gorge, although I really doubt it because Marat Fedosov has a full stack here. I'm almost tempted to try to delete half the stack just to try to bait him into an attack. And I'm not trying to rhyme, but it's just happening. Yeah, so let's see. Mist Gorge currently has an okay amount of garrison. There is a Lord of Change here, as well as a Soul Grinder and Chaos Knights. So what if we, for example, were to get rid of, like, I don't know, 10 of these units? Try this. And then maybe this guy will be like, okay, that's doable. These are very basic units, and this is a pretty trash army, so we'll try to attack it. I don't know if that'll work out, but I'm hoping that it will. Also, are we able to give you war coordination? No, we're not. We are getting close to becoming defensive allies. How much do you want for this? 11k? Okay, no. We'll wait on that. Honestly, we could just give them Fallen City if we really wanted to, which would complete a province for them, and then get war coordination as well as some stuff, and maybe they could go after Koeus for us. On the other hand, they are our allies, so they may be trying to do so in the first place. I prefer not to necessarily give them another location, especially if we take desert locations in Cathay. That's going to mean a lot of expensive stuff. We'll see. I obviously don't want to take everything in Cathay, or especially not in the desert location, but up here, where it's more verdant, that would probably be a lot better. We'll see. We'll see. Well, regardless, we have several locations where we could potentially get a fight going. First of all, where are we here? Svetlana Stefanovich. I was going to have you go after this fell cargo, but we could always grab the port at Bay of Blades, or just do that manually. We could try to land and go after Toxfarder. I don't know whether this will work, but I would like you to fight if you can, so let's try it. Let's see what he does. Okay, the landing worked, and the fight worked. Oh, beautiful. Okay, well, I was wondering where we'd be putting in a cinematic battle, and this one is definitely the choice. Because while Urogny is also about to fight Darius, Urogny's army has had a lot of cinematic time, and Svetlana's not so much. This is a relatively new army, and I think it still deserves to get some playtime. So let's fight the cinematically, and especially since the infantry always do a really good show, so go.
Seek the solace of the blizzard. My snows shall keep you safe this day.
Alrighty, here we go, another battle with Svetlana. Her army's battles have been really damn epic every single time we fought them, so I'm hoping for more of the same. Obviously, we're going to begin the bombardment, and since we are the ones who attack the enemy, they're going to sit here and wait, at least for a time. Usually I'd be targeting the lords and other stuff like that, but in the beginning here, I decided to target the enemy exalted bloodletters, A, because they're kind of threatening, and B, because, well, they're the easiest ones to actually reach with our artillery. Looks like the enemy's going to summon its unit of bloodletters, not bloodletters, sorry, this is not a coronate unit, regardless of the enemy bloodletters, the Furies on top of our artillery. However, as usual, we have kept back a unit of great weapons to deal specifically with this nonsense. Plus, they seem to want to attack the little Groms, and frankly, the little Groms can take them out just fine as well. Enemy army is still not moving as yet, but it should get annoyed sooner or later, especially with the destruction of their summons. There we go. Now they're going to approach, and soon, hopefully, will be time for our other artillery unit, our Hellblaster, to fire as well. Got a decent amount of flying units, don't they? At least in single unit flyers. They got they got a Plague Ridden back here, they got the Burning Chariot, as well as the Bloodthirster, all of which we'll have to gun down. Alright, targeting that Burning Chariot first. These units can do quite a bit of damage after all, and is it ready? And by it, I mean the Hellblaster. Although I guess it's they rather than it. What the heck? Where are you facing? What are you doing? Hopefully they position themselves properly when it's time to fire. There we go. These three fired, and then this one's going to fire later on, I guess. We haven't seen a lot of these. Oh, huh. These guys took a volley, but you didn't fire at all because you weren't facing the right direction. Interesting. I'm kind of curious to see the volley from these. There we are. They're always such a pleasure to watch fire. Beautiful. Alrighty, well, I believe after that, that Burning Chariot is in pretty darn bad shape. Another shot from a little Grom, or the Hellblaster will take it out. Looks like it's going to be the Hellblaster firing on it, and getting the kill as well. Unfortunately for us, the enemy Bloodthirster has nearly arrived. It is getting focused down, by and large, by our masses of Ice Guard. Well, maybe not masses, there's only 4 of them after all, but it's still a decent amount. In addition to that, we do have the support of that Hellblaster, hopefully firing at it as well. If it can manage to hit it. Man, you're kind of zigzagging through the air, ain't ya? But it's not good enough. Oh, wow, it kind of lights on fire as it falls. I had never noticed that before. That looked pretty damn cool. Alrighty, well, now we're switching targets to the enemy Soul Grinders, and we're actually doing surprisingly good with regards to the range firepower we're able to lay down here. This army was built as an infantry army, and it does have 8 full units of Tzar Guard, in addition to the Warbear Riders, so I'm pleasantly surprised with how effective its range is being right now. Over on this side, we had our Warbear Riders countercharge the enemy Plague Toads as well as the enemy Skull Crushers, so a nice little duel for them with the support of the Tzar Guard there. I don't think it's going to look so good for the enemy. Oh, and look at the accuracy on those arrows, or the ice bolts coming in. Absolutely beautiful with the addition of that Gust of True Flight. It looks like the Skull Crushers are just about dead with about 10% HP remaining, and obviously the Plague Toads are going to get absolutely destroyed themselves. In fact, our War Riders are not going to take any damage, but mostly because Plague Toads are kind of trash. It looks like the Soul Grinder is dead as well, and damn it if this battle isn't going in our favor. We did summon an Elemental Bear back here, and it is distracting a unit of Blood Crushers as well as a unit of Knights of Tzeentch, but otherwise the rest of the army is heading towards our battle lines and is getting destroyed as it does. The Hawks of Miska going through the enemy Bloodletters and actually doing very nice damage, and also knocking them away and preventing them from reaching our lines, and actually following them for once. Wow, I'm impressed. I think this is the first time that a Vortex actually acted the way that I wanted it to in this third game. Haven't had very good luck with those thus far, but there we are. Well done to the Vortex, and it looks like the enemy Bloodletters are getting absolutely ripped apart by our ranged units, and the enemy artillery. The enemy cavalry has been destroyed by our Warbear Riders, who are now surrounding and killing the enemy Plague-Ridden, which is gone as well. These Bloodletters are also in banishment just as they get here, whereas the other ones are getting countercharged by our Patriarch as well as our Frost Maiden. And oh, I didn't even realize that the enemy Alurus was here as well, though, to be fair, it's probably not for long. Knights of Tzeentch are trying to charge in, but also get faced with a bunch of shots from our artillery, as well as our Ice Guard, and it looks like the enemy army is just about done. We've ignored everything but the enemy lord, and unfortunately for it, the enemy lord is way too slow to get to us, and is only a level 2 besides. So we're going to kill everything first, and just allow this guy to die by banishment. Beautiful. One enemy remaining, and ooh, oh, this looks like it would have taken off his head if the battle had continued. A very nice shot by that little Grom. In actual fact, I guess this is because of the hitbox. This does look like it would have flown directly over him and maybe clipped his shield or the corn horns on top of his helmet. But generally speaking, I suppose if it hit the corn horns hard enough, it might have taken the head and helmet together. Yeah, nice shot though. I think that was the very last unit on the field in the sense that nobody survived, not even that guy. Alright, well done to Svetlana, our infantry commander, and her army. A very nice victory, certainly overpowering the enemy to a great degree, and getting herself 3 levels out of the, for her trouble. Now, I guess, wait, we technically want to replenish here. Why? Because next turn, we are going to, I guess, colonize a nearby location, though it's a little bit dangerous to do so here, but I think it's probably the best option. Yeah, 4K is quite nice, don't get me wrong, but ooh, we got perfect vigor out of that as well. Very nice, Svetlana, and the attrition reduction from it. Beautiful. Wait, oh, we barely even have corruption here, so we won't even suffer attrition. Oh, that's beautiful. Very nice. Very nice job, Svetlana. I appreciate you. I'm surprised at the lack of corruption here, but I guess because we own the Forbidden Citadel, it's canceling out Black Gulch, and then Altar of the Crimson Harvest and Tower of Crack have nothing there, so yeah. Looks like everybody's moving in around Doomkeep, and they're just maintaining armies around it. Kind of desperate. It's not a good look for you. Legion of Chaos. Now, we still have one fight to go for this particular turn, and that's going to be the fight against Darius here. I think we'll just do that regular style, not bother doing it cinematically, mostly because we already fought Skarbrand with a, frankly, better army than this, so I doubt we're going to have too much trouble with it. Also, let's just see here. You have the Tormentor Sword, you have the Brass Cleaver. I wanted to do something about, oh right, you have the Seed of Rebirth as well as the Potion of Healing, eh, Uragni? Nah, you're probably fine with that. That's a considerable amount of healing. I'm just wondering if there's a blue version of the Seed of Rebirth. It's the heal per second is only 0.1, but it is essentially passive regeneration throughout the battle. Well, regardless, fight Darius, please. It seems that he's coming here regardless of the fact that, well, he's in terrible danger. And, oh, we do have to worry about the damn summons of the Coronate units on top of us, but oh well. I don't imagine this will be too much of a problem. And hopefully, unlike Skarbrand... Oh, damn, it's the smiley face map. I don't like this map. I don't like this map because it's, this thing in the center blocks artillery shots, and we had to deal with it when we fought Skarbrand, and we did overcome, but it is still an issue. Fortunately, not so much of an issue for our Hellstorms as it is for our little Groms. Anyway, we'll just maximize our distance here. And then let's put you, little Grom, here. Here, away from each other. We will keep, I guess, 1 unit of Armored Cossars. Wait, how much cav do they have? They have Blood Crushers and Skull Crushers over on one side. Okay, so we'll probably have to keep a Patriarch here. Let's put our Cursed Cossars over here. If anybody's gonna die, it'll be them. And then the Patriarch with them. And then you guys are gonna go there. Good, good, good. That looks good to me. We will put our regular Cossars all the way down here in... we can actually use big blobs like we did last time, mostly because the enemy can't cast anything, so we're not worried about that sort of thing. We can also send a couple heavy war sleds. I was about to say out this way, but now they can just go forward and annoy the enemy. Alright, let's make you guys group 4, 3, whatever. Uragni, group 1, you're gonna stay out ahead. Hopefully Darius will attack you. You two can be group 2. So I guess we don't want to be moving you at around the same time. The other armored Cossars, the non-cursed ones, are going to be here. They will be guarding our artillery pieces. In fact, artillery just move slightly forward so that the Cossars can be here. Hey. Here. Beautiful. And then hopefully all these hills and stuff aren't going to be in your way. They shouldn't be because you're fairly decently arcing stuff. Now you're probably going to need to help with the enemy cav, so you're going to be out here. The rest of you are going to take the hills. Streltsy. Although, you know what? Maybe we want to maintain relatively close distance to the artillery so that we can buff them all up together. I kind of like that a little bit more. Do something like this. That should be able to encompass all of them. And I believe that's it. We probably want to... No, we're good. Alright, you immediately use the buff. You need to move a little bit closer because it doesn't seem to be able to touch you right now. And then let's have the little Groms target... Oh, I wonder if they can target the Skull Cannon from here. It does seem that they can. Good. And then we'll obviously go for the Bloodletters. They're a good pick here. Uragni, move forward in case you can fight Darius, and let's move our War Sleds forward. Darius is a possible good target, but better target would be the Minotaurs. I don't really fear Darius doing too much to Uragni, although, you know what, Uragni, get back a little bit. We want Darius to move forward rather than fighting him back here, because that'll be problematic. You guys, check all this nonsense. Alright, War Sleds, move back. Aha, there's the summon. You guys get ready to turn around. Lord, move in and fire on them, please. This is gonna hurt the Streltsy. Let's debuff them immediately. And War Sleds, move, move, move. Let's summon our unit here. Hey, Darius, go away. Go away, please. Thank you. And, ooh, do they have Cav on this side? No, those are Gore Beasts. Okay, not as concerning as I thought. Alright, you distract. Everybody else is firing on what they're supposed to be firing. I think that cannon is almost dead. You guys stop, 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 stop. And then auto-fired whatever you want. In fact, you guys stop and auto-fired whatever you want as well. Uragni, charge Darius. War Sleds, get back to the main line. And, ooh, the Minotaurs have made it through. You know what? You guys all can engage in guard mode. There we go. Let's also get you to move forward and to buff our Streltsy. Still can't get them all, unfortunately. Yeah, well, good enough. Uragni nearly killed the enemy Lord here. You are still getting damage, but we're looking okay. Let's hit those Chaos Warriors of Khorne here. And how's the Patriarch looking? Let's heal up our units here. Firing those Blood Crushers. Good, everybody good. You Cursed Cossars are getting hurt, but that is nothing new. Let's also stop some enemy units moving in. Summon here. Uragni, you can fight individual units. War Sleds, you're good as you are. Turn off Skirmish mode. You can move forward as well. Turn off Skirmish mode. You can act as barriers, essentially, to the enemy. Good, and oh, I didn't actually mean to move you forward, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing. You're in a blob right now, so you can fire. You fire. Good, Uragni, buff and heal. Alright, so other than the Cursed Cossars, is anybody getting hurt? Not really. Cursed Cossars, maybe try to get out, and ooh. Looks like the Skull Cannon survived. You, time to cast... I was about to say Blizzard, but it's... you know what? Rarely ever see Blizzard. Ah, they're running. I'm gonna cast the Blizzard. Alright, fine. Just keep buffing the Streltsy then. Oh, wow, I did not see that. We need these guys killed. Alright, well, Armored Cossars fight them. Streltsy, you need to turn and fight them as well. And it'd be really ironic if the uncursed Cossars died here. Alrighty. Uragni, get back and command us, and I think their army is melting. I did say it would be a trivial battle, but we did still suffer a little bit of damage. Fortunately, we're right beside our own territory, so our casualties are kind of irrelevant. And it's not like they managed to kill anything. I do want the Hellstorms to move back here. And good. Alright, easy enough. Certainly felt easier than the Skarbrand battle because we didn't have to deal with Skarbrand. Alrighty, we do, however, probably want to chase the enemy down because... Yeah, just go, just go. Turn on melee. Turn on melee. Yes, chase him down. I guess you guys can heal up. Into the center here, please. And we're good, alrighty. Well, I guess you could also slow the enemy down. And, ooh, buff our units here. Maybe they'll get a few extra shots in. I guess it remains to be seen. Uragni and co move together. There's the buff. I'll speed it up in a second. I just want to make sure that we get the heals out. Good. Alright, war sleds. Go kill something. Go kill that. You guys go kill that. Alright, now we can speed it up. Yeah, these guys should be done for. Alright, just gotta hope that our... Ooh, rocket artillery is still firing here. Good. Little Groms fire on this unit, although, damn, they're close to the edge of the map. I doubt that they're going to... Yeah, they're gonna get away, but it's okay. You guys keep chasing, please. I also gotta remember that the war sets have a bad habit of hurting each other when they fire. What can you do? Alrighty. Easy enough. Cursed Cossars came the closest to dying, but we always use them on the edges of the field. Honestly, we're probably, for the purpose that I keep using them for, we're probably much better off replacing them with Ice Guard with Glaives. It's just that I like keeping Uragni's army to be completely guns and cannons, with the exception of him. Also, well, you killed Darius, and that was all you needed to really do. We are going to... You know what, we didn't take the money last time, I could take it this time, although... I wonder if enough units survive to force this to get killed by an auto-resolve. Guess we're about to find out. I'm gonna move away. Chase him down. Let's see if the auto-resolve screws us over or not.
Their death.
It did not. Lovely. And yeah, very little damage this time. Man, I don't understand the auto-resolve. Let's execute those captives. Alright, Uragni, you can land back at the Altar of Spawns. Ooh, and we got a nice Fencer's Blades for our trouble. So heal up at the altar, and then move out to Greyling Moot afterwards, unless we get another Cornate army that you have to deal with. I believe that's it for this turn. We don't need to move or do anything with anybody else. So let's end it, unless I'm forgetting something. I really want to get this cinematic battle going, which is why I didn't bother with Uragni's, because this will be the first battle for the all-Cav army. Speaking of the all-Cav army, or rather speaking of new armies, I was... What are you doing? I was hoping to... Oh. Wait, ambush? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, this is just... I guess this is a stance that Tzeentch has, because I remember the enemy can just, like, randomly ambush. I guess they have a Skaven-like stance. I didn't know that they actually had one. This is not so great for our Cav army, but I guess they're going to have to try to pull it off, or perhaps they will die. I guess it remains to be seen. Let's see if they can manage it. Our Griffin Legion are the ones that are in the most danger, plus the Outriders. So we'll fight this cinematically. It'll be a glorious time, even if it is going to be a dangerous time. Huh, and because it's an ambush, even though we're right beside our garrison, like, we're within range of the garrison, but it's not drawing it out. Interesting.
Today we write another page in Kislev's great history.
Alrighty, well, this should be pretty darn interesting. The debut of our massive cavalry force means that, or is going to be one where the said cavalry force is getting ambushed while it is in a column. I suppose if you're going to fight a massive amount of cavalry, ambushing it while it's in a column moving somewhere is probably the best time to do it. The Warbear Riders obviously are going to be told to react first here, as they are much less fragile than the Griffin Legion, and definitely the ones I go for to react. But yeah, this is definitely one of those panic moments, and a really picturesque area too, with the foundations from presumably... Could be a Skykeep here, or could be Dwarven construction. I think this is, yeah, this is Dwarf work. Whatever this is, I guess the really big bridge. Alright, well... I'm hoping for a really interesting battle. Looks like the enemy Lord is landing and trying to attack the Griffin Legion together with those Doom Knights. We've definitely seen the Doom Knights do massive amounts of damage to Griffin Legion before. Casts going down as well, but the Warbear Riders are going to try to counter the Lords of Change as well as those Doom Knights as best they can. In the meantime, the Griffin Legion are going to charge their more fragile units, like the various Pink Horrors and whatever else is going on over here, as soon as they manage to make their way here. Obviously, the Warbear Riders had to counter these guys first, so... On the bright side, there is a Lord of Change here, and damn, all these frickin' eyes being summoned. At the very least, the enemy Lord is surrounded, but this is going to do a number on our poor, fragile Griffin Legion. Our Ice Switch is also only at half HP, having been attacked by that Lord of Change, and it is something to worry about. These Griffin Legion got basically destroyed by enemy magics, so that ain't looking so good, while our Outriders have also been hit by a few magics and are currently trying to bring down the Iridescent Horror back here. Don't know how effective that's going to be, though. And yeah, by virtue of the fact that this is an ambush, we don't really have the ability to do much cycle charging. We just got to prevent the enemy from, well, really doing anything. And a few additional charges in there. That Pink Horror unit is having a very bad day, sandwiched between two full units of Griffin Legion. And I guess the same thing can be said for the units over on this side. We do outnumber the enemy pretty greatly. Did summon on the Elemental Bear in the hopes of tying up this Lord of Change, which is undergoing some very ugly graphical bugs right now. Unfortunately, it decided to fly away rather than fight, so we're going to have to send the Elemental Bear to fight the enemy Lord instead, which is currently tied up fighting Warbear Riders. It is doing a fairly decent job, though, bringing them down to about half HP with the help of those Doom Knights, and is now surrounded and in a much worse situation than it was before. Gaze of Fate going down, debuffing our Warbear Riders, not quite into uselessness, but having their ability to do damage. Outriders still trying to kill that Iridescent Horror, which is clearly taking a while. We've managed to prevent ourselves from losing any units, but clearly we've taken quite a bit of damage here. These two are basically dead, and this one's at a 3rd HP. You know how when you fight the enemy in an ambush, they have this, like, escape zone? Why don't we have an escape zone? I think this is, like, the 2nd time I've been ambushed in, like, 1,000 hours of the 3rd game, so I don't know what's going on here. Anybody who's had more experience with getting ambushed, can please let me know how this works, because I remember there being a box where the enemy AI would withdraw towards. We don't seem to have that here, unless this is it, but I don't think I could order the units here. And they didn't have the withdraw button at all. Weird. Well, it's a rare enough occurrence not to really matter, as we can clearly see. Out of all these campaigns, it happens like twice. And I don't even remember what happened the other time. I think it was one of those situations where we turned it around on the enemy so hard that the enemy got wrecked. Anyway, speaking of getting wrecked, one of the Lords of Change goes down. I believe the Exalted Lord of Change falls as well to the power of the Warbear Riders, who still had their half HP, and the remainder of the Elemental Bear helping them out. Otherwise, the enemy army is broken, and though we did manage to lose about 200 of our units, that is well within acceptable parameters, I think. Well done, everybody. This is definitely not an ideal battle for this particular army, but they still managed to pull it off. Though, to be fair, the enemy army was also fairly weak. A much stronger army with a bunch of, for example, Soul Grinders would have been a much more worrying prospect. Still, I'd love to take this army out into the field and fight like a genuine like field battle without anything crazy terrain-wise, and try to make good use of our mobility and all that sort of stuff. Maybe fighting against Nurgle in particular would be good to contrast the slowness of their army with the quickness of ours. Anyway, a close victory, probably because we took considerable damage here, unsurprisingly. But otherwise, I'm happy with the result and that we don't have to, you know, rebuild any of our units. Though, I'm not sure how well the Outriders did. They spent that entire time firing on that one flying unit and did only like half HP damage. I think it ended up dying due to banishment rather than their attacks. You know what, let's check their damage. Alrighty, well, Mr. Pinforks absolutely failed that. I was a little bit disappointed in the Outriders. I figured that we add some range armor-piercing damage, but they did basically nothing, and they were firing for the entire battle. I'm actually shocked at how ineffective they were as compared to the grenade Outriders, who, while fragile, always did quite a lot of damage. Kind of makes me think that perhaps we replace a couple of them with grenade Outriders instead, or just outright give up on them and just replace them all with Demigriffs. I mean, maybe. Griffin Legion plus Demigriffs, it kind of does work together. I'll give these guys a chance, like maybe get a couple more battles out of them, but if they continue failing like that, I will replace them. Otherwise, the Warbear Riders did insane amounts of damage, and the Griffin Legion did not really do that much, but that isn't as necessarily surprising either. Though in terms of cost, it's making me think, why bother with the Griffin Legion when we can use Warbear Riders in the first place? Because these guys didn't even do that well against infantry. Granted, we weren't able to get a lot of cycle charging accomplished in this particular battle because it was an ambush, so it'll be a little bit different when we can face off against ranged units and other stuff and hit enemies in the back with Griffin Legion and that massive charge bonus that they have than what we've encountered here. So lots more times to try out this army. Anyway, we got a Book of Assure out of it, which is actually a fairly nice pickup. So well done. Thanks for that, Pinforks. We are going to take money.
Kislev is not callous.
Game, don't crash. Not after we just fought a battle. Don't you do it, game. Oh no. No, come on.
Not without sympathy.
Alrighty, well, you may have noticed a little bit of a cut there because everything was all screwy due to the game crashing. I had to replay that particular battle. Fortunately, the game did autosave even though it crashed in the middle of a turn, I guess. Well, whatever. The autosave worked, so that at least I'm happy with, and even though I did have to refight the battle, the results were thus slightly different, so by the looks of it, we actually did better the second time around, which, you know, makes sense because I knew what was coming this time. But the battle that you guys saw, plus the result, was the original fight, and this is what happens after the second one. Anyway, Malai mission successful, great. I don't remember what mission that was, but I guess it was the destruction of this Pinforks here. Enemy killed in battle, got a free talisman of protection, and war coordination target lost, some training completed, more training completed, and there we are. Alrighty, well, with that, unfortunately, I am going to call this episode. There's probably a bunch of admin and whatever that we need to do, but obviously, because of the crash, plus the fact that we've already had 2 cinematic battles, I have absolutely no clue, like not even the faintest clue, where we're at, as in what, how much time this episode has taken, etc., etc., etc. So, in that light, calling it here. Next time, Boris will hopefully continue to move through towards the Tzeentchian forces up north. We do need to catch out Koeus, but I still have no idea how we're going to do so. He's probably going to go for Amble Peak or the Great Hall or whatever, although luckily all of these locations do have walls. Firemouth cannot be said to have walls. Well, not walls, but the level 3 defensive structure. Oh, what if he goes for Fallen City? Huh. Well, it's very possible. It is very possible indeed. I was specifically avoiding building walls here so that we could build a church and then possibly another building that might come in handy, like the stables, mostly to be able to build a few horse archers just for the fun of it. But for now, I guess we have to build walls, although it's probably possible for him to get here in 2 turns, depending on if he can jump over this. Anyway, I digress. We'll deal with that next time, as well as with plenty more armies as we continue moving north. It'll soon be the start of invasions out here, and maybe we'll start fighting the enemies at sea as well, especially since we have benefits re-fighting at sea due to Erengrad Harbor, and I believe we will have a possible fight with Red Olgor and Serena Katerin out of Longship Graveyard. I don't know. Stay tuned for that one and more Boris. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. Stop crashing, game. And thanks for watching.